Thanks. Stephen, good morning. The criticism of the team is one thing, but it seems that your own position has been called into question after the draw the other night. Are you aware of the noise surrounding it and how you plan to deal with that?
No, that's not what we went on a staff run throughout the city this morning, and as we do regularly when we're away together, and we just a lot of the Irish public are very positive. Obviously we're disappointed ourselves that we didn't win the other night, so that's irrelevant to me. I think it's part of international management that comes with the territory, and it's not something that I'm concerned about.
Is it something that seeps into the players though? We spoke to James earlier and he seemed to be very much aware of it.
Listen, we've put in an exceptional performance in Portugal. I was very pleased with that. We were really, really good in Portugal, outstanding actually. And I've watched the game last night against Azerbaijan again. Watched a repeat of the game, and we played well for long periods in that game, and dominated, and could have won at least 4 or 5-1. And our finishing let us down, and we're disappointed with that. I think obviously they've scored a wonder goal from 25 yards, nearly 30 yards into the top corner, and it's a brilliant strike. But the players gave everything. The attitude was excellent. Played some great football at times, and we're disappointed not to win. Of course we are, but a lot of good play in that match, and the players showed a lot of quality at times, and at times we didn't. I thought we made mistakes also, but not everyone played well. But certainly a lot of good passages of play in the match, and the match we should have won well and deserved to win convincingly, but we just couldn't we couldn't take our chances.
But the confidence of the players must be low because of the run of results.
I don't accept that. I don't accept that at all. The confidence of the players, they've displayed the confidence. If you take the 4 matches that people are talking about that we've lost, right, or the 4 matches we've in the campaign, in the game against Serbia away and Portugal away, they're probably 2 of our best performances in the last decade away from home, without question. We've lost 3-2 and 1-0. The players, against Luxembourg we haven't played well at all at home. That's a poor performance, but we still didn't deserve to lose the game based on chances, still had more chances. And the other night we dominated and should have won well. And, I think, don't forget, this team had the spine of the team was sort of ripped out of it. Darren Randolph really been injured for sort of a good period of time. Richard Keogh finishing with his accident. Glenn Whelan, Glenn just obviously at the latter end of his career been a brilliant player, and also David McGoldrick, who retired. So the whole spine is taken out of this team. We've taken the best young players that we've seen for probably a long, long time, and we've blooded a lot of players in that period. I think you're not always going to get a level of consistency with that. Our performances overall in this campaign have been, bar the Luxembourg game, which we were very disappointed with, our performance have been good overall. I think with Serbia and Portugal in the group, and the spine been ripped out of the team, and we haven't qualified for the World Cup since 2002. Did anyone think that we were favourites to qualify, or that we should qualify? We certainly have a plan in place, and that, I've taken the decision, right or wrong, that we would build a squad to be a really, really competitive team to qualify for Germany 2024. Okay, now we did not try and win the games. We went very close to winning Serbia and winning against Portugal. Okay, away from home. We scored first goal in both games. We're brilliant football in both games. So I think I've taken that decision, and collectively we did. And that's why, I think, last week against Azerbaijan was a good occasion. The supporters were brilliant. We started brilliantly. Couldn't get that goal. They've scored a goal in 25 yards. They defended deep. We threw the kitchen sink at them. so many attempts on goal, and we missed the target. Our finishing could have been better. We have only ourselves to blame in that regard. But I think there's real progress overall, to be honest, and that's the way I see it, and that's why my staff see it, and all the coaches see it. And there's a lot of people behind that. There's a lot of people who aren't, who just see, well, you're in a resilience, but that's not your job to develop the game here. That's not your job. Your job is just to win the next match. That's your job. And you know, that kind of nearsightedness doesn't create anything. You might beat teams you shouldn't beat, but you'll never beat the teams that you know you can strive to beat. So you're trying to build something that can actually be tangible over a period of time, and that can be successful. And that's the way I see it.
Guy Havard, please.
Following up from that, then, the aim is 2024 and the Euros. Are you suggesting then that your contract should be renewed next summer, that you should be given more time to finish what you perceive as the long-term job?
Well, I've been given no assurances in that regard, and I've taken the decisions I've taken regardless of the impact on myself or here. I've not been given any assurances in that regard. I think I've just been given full support by the FAI. People behind the scenes have been brilliant, and you know, I think so I think I've done it because you know, we have a very, very exciting squad emerging, and you know, we've not had a huge pool of players to pick between the experienced players who are at the other end of the career and the young players that are coming through. There has been a gap there for sure. But I'm very, very pleased with the emerging squad, and I think that some of our performances have been excellent, like against Portugal the other day, where you know, that was the cruelest of fates really, to lose that game of going into the 89th minute. And you know, I think the players have deserved better than they've got over the last few games, because overall against Azerbaijan we threw the kitchen sink and we created so many chances and played well for long periods in the game and had so many attempts at goal. But we need to definitely improve our finishing, and it's not like Azerbaijan. They don't concede a lot of goals. 2-1 against Serbia, 1-0 against Portugal. They're not minnows. You know, these players are playing in group stages of European competition, and they certainly none of the games are easy. So that's the way I see it.
Thank you.
Paul Walsh, please, to end the live section.
Thanks, Kieran. Hi, Stephen. Just on your last answer there, despite the good performances, though, are you worried that the FAI board might decide that you won't get a contract extension and they might just focus on the results instead?
Well, this is not about my contract's not up till next July, so this is not about my contract. This is about us preparing now for Serbia. You know, it's a very important game. Serbia, we had a brilliant game with them in Serbia. It's an outstanding game of football. They're a very good side. You know, Jovic was 60 million to Real Madrid. Vlahovic to talking between 50 and 70 million out to the Premier League. They're not getting in. They're strikers that are not getting into the Serbian team at the moment. They're not getting in. So they have that level of depth. They're a great example to us what a nation can you know, certainly in terms of producing players. So we want to strive to get better. So it's going to be a real tough game. Obviously, Mitrovic has already scored 7 goals himself in the campaign, and he scored goals from nothing. I seen his when they beat Azerbaijan 2-1, he created 2 goals from absolute nothing. And so it's, you know, we're going to have to be at our best against Serbia. They're a formidable team, and we've got to make sure that we're ready to go. It's their third game in 6 days. It's only their second really, because they had a friendly and they were able to rotate. So we've got to dust ourselves down, get ready physically, and give everything in front of our home support. We want our home support to really get behind us and be passionate as they were the other day. And we want to really put in a strong performance here against Serbia.
Okay,